is Talking Sports with Wei And Croney. This is episode 3, if I'm not mistaken, isn't it? Episode trace. Like, we are in this motherfucker. We got some heat on today's topic. Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 2. Oh my goodness.
Same results, really.
We gonna get into that. Also, it is the third week of the XFL. We're gonna talk about that, and we got again, as y'all know, with our XFL talk, that's like a full 30 minutes in and of itself. We got some heat for the XFL. Also, we have 2 questions that we're gonna talk about. One, should Jayson Tatum be considered in the MVP conversation? Not win the MVP, but should he at least be considered in the conversation? And also, what was the last one? I forgot that fucking fast. John Morant versus Zion Williamson. Do you believe that Zion Williamson, with the very limited games that he's had and the very limited games that he'll have left, do you think Zion Williamson has done enough to be able to be considered in the Rookie of the Year conversation? We're going to talk about that as well. Anything you want to tell people before we get started?
Just enjoy the show.
Enjoy the motherfucking show. This is Talking Sports with Wei and we in this bitch. This is Talking Sports with Wei and Croney. We'll be right back with you. So the first thing on today's docket that we are going to talk about today. Y'all know how I do. Gotta pull out the notes real quick for them. Then you give me stack God in the building. Gotta pull out the notes, get my paper together. So we're gonna talk about the XFL first. The first game that we're gonna talk about is the Dallas Renegades versus the Seattle Dragons. So,
Renegade.
the first, I'm just gonna kind of drop some stats here, and then we'll kind of discuss the game from here. We're gonna try out a new format for y'all here on Talking Sports. So, Seattle, some of the things that stood out. Brandon Silvers, 21 for 34, 204 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. One of his receivers, Pro, 6 receptions, 81 yards, 1 touchdown. Seattle's rushing was actually very good. Gardner and Williams combined for 16 rushes for 69 yards. With Dallas, Cameron Artis-Payne, who we've mentioned multiple times on this broadcast so far, 80 yards rushing, 30 yards receiving. They also have a couple of excellent receivers over there on Dallas. One, their tight end Parham, 2 touchdowns, 75 yards, 5 receptions. Landry Jones, 30 for 41. So 30 passes completed, 41 attempted, 274 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 NITs. I say NITs, 2 INTs. That's game 1. That's the first one we're going to talk about. So, Mr. Croney, based on the stats that you have, sir, give your opinion and based off of what you saw with the game. Go ahead.
Well, first off, the tough man continues to go on in Seattle.
Even though they did.
As soon as the game started, they couldn't get the calls right. They couldn't get play calling right. They couldn't hear themselves. The team was doing pretty bad for the Dallas. So I'll give it back. That's what helped them stay in the game. But I have a problem with Dallas. It was a good game all the way through, but I have a problem with Dallas.
Even though they won?
Even though they won.
Okay, continue.
They have a good rushing attack, and they strayed away from it for the first half. But they finally just decided to use it the second half, which was actually great, because I think if they didn't, they wouldn't have won the game.
Okay.
So Seattle's defense is A1 at home. So we need to see what they can do on the road, because they still lost, but they were in the game.
Okay.
So that's pretty much my take. We had a good play all around. Dallas tight end, that's what you use them for, man.
Yeah, Parham actually really surprised me. Again, I was kind of, over these past few weeks, I've been looking for players to stand out. Mm-hmm. And again, we've discussed it multiple times. Like I told y'all before, I feel like the XFL can definitely be a step to the NFL, personal belief here. But
yeah, we disagree on that.
We disagree on that one, but I feel as if it can definitely be a step, and I feel like performances like what we saw in week 3. Again, this is just the first game we're talking about, but once y'all kind of get the performances we've had in week 3, y'all will see what I mean. But yeah, my personal take is I feel like this was a good game. I feel like this was a great game for Dallas. If I'm not mistaken, this makes Dallas 2-1.
Yeah.
This makes Dallas 2-1. This also makes Seattle 2. I think this is a 2-1 type of situation. Let me double check.
I think it's more. I think Seattle 1-2, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Again, we got to get some clarification on that. But again, great game though. Like I said, so let me just kind of give you a couple of personal takes. So I feel like Brandon Silvers did much better. Like I've been talking about the QBs in the XFL, and I've been feeling like the QBs in the XFL needed to step up. I feel like this was a overall better game for Brandon Silvers, one of the least known quarterbacks in the XFL. Like when Brandon Silvers was selected, people were kind of looking like, who the fuck is that? So I feel like Brandon Silvers showed up. Also, I feel like that Seattle defense, man. The Seattle defense, even though they let 24 points was put up against them, I still feel like that Seattle defense is great. Like that Seattle defense is amazing.
But again, they were at home, man, with that crowd. That crowd really helped them yesterday.
It did. Again, they got 24 points put on them, but the Seattle defense, I feel, was great. Again, somebody who loves running back play, Seattle's rushing game was on point. Again, between Gardner and Williams, they did most of the work for the backs when it came to Seattle. And then when it came to Dallas, let's just talk about Dallas for a second. Artis Payne is a beast. Cameron Artis Payne is a beast. He deserves another shot in the NFL, at least at backup running back, like at least as a secondary back. Like Artis Payne can catch, he can run, he can give you an overall game. Again, there's another person that we're going to talk about, but I feel like Cameron Artis Payne is a beast, and he's been one of the standouts from week one. Since week one, we've been talking about the Dallas rushing game, and he's been the main reason.
Yeah, but the tackling is so bad in the XFL, man.
It is. You know. The tackling does definitely need to get better. Also, last week I shitted on Landry Jones. This week I do want to apologize because Landry Jones showed up and was much better than what he was last week. Again, 30 completions, 41 attempts, 274 yards, 3 TDs. He did have 2 interceptions. That's what kind of knocks him down to much better, and not he did great compared. Right. He did much better, but it still got some improvements to do. But overall, Dallas showed me an amazingly balanced game. Yeah. You got Artis Payne with the running. You got Landry Jones finally starting to kind of find his stride. He got a nice little target in Parham. I feel like Dallas is starting to come along and find their way personally. I agree. I feel like this was a good game. This is the first game showed everybody what the XFL can truly be when it's running full speed, right, in my opinion. The next game that we're going to talk about, Houston versus Tampa Bay.
Can I get it
right? I'm on the...
Can I get it right?
Houston versus Tampa Bay.
3-0. 3-0, baby.
I will give him that one. He picked Houston from week one. He picked Houston, and they have not disappointed. But last week, we did also agree that Houston might be the best team in the XFL, just period. Like, they remind me of XFL Patriots, and the reason why I said that was based off of the QB play. Let me just again break down the stats for you really quick. Cam Phillips, 8 receptions, 194 yards, 3 touchdowns. The quarterback, PJ Walker, 24 completions, 36 attempts, 306 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 120.8 QBR. The rushing was even on point. MVP. Butler and Walker. Well, not even Butler. Matter of fact, we'll keep Butler out of this for a second. Matter of fact, no. I did have something Butler and Walker. My apologies. So Butler and Walker combined for 11 rushes for over 100 yards, 106 yards. And Walker got a touchdown. Tampa Bay, their stats.
First off,
matter of fact,
have to give Tampa Bay their credit. They showed us that they can do something.
We have to give Tampa Bay their fucking credit, because we have dogged Tampa Bay
Dog.
For week 1 and week 2, we have dog Tampa Bay.
Dog.
Tampa Bay this week showed that they weren't going like no hoes against the best team in the XFL.
Yes.
They showed like they weren't going. It literally took to like a game-winning touchdown for Houston to win.
It wasn't in the game-winning touchdown. It was an interception.
You're right. It was an interception.
Interception game.
You're right. Again, just some of the quick stats. They did the whole swapping out QBs thing again, which I guess worked this time.
They didn't win.
They didn't. Tolliver, a good receiver, 8 receptions, 104 yards. Quentin Flowers, 4 for 6, 51 yards, 1 rushing TD. Actually, Quentin Flowers is credited with the first offensive touchdown in Tampa Bay Vipers history. So shout out to Quentin Flowers again. Clap it up for Quentin Flowers. Again, a black QB got the first offensive touchdown in Tampa Bay Vipers history. Cornelius, the other QB that swapped out for Flowers, 16 for 31, 193 yards, 1 passing touchdown, 1 interception, and 1 rushing touchdown. And then Williams, a receiver on Tampa Bay, only had 2 receptions, but they were for 35 yards and 1 touchdown. So, because your team won, you have the honor of starting this off, sir.
Well, like I said, can I get a round of applause, please? They're 3-0.
3-0.
My first
Tampa Bay is 0-3.
Tampa Bay.
0-3.
Y'all have trust issues. They have trust issues, rather. They can't keep swapping out QBs. They have to put their trust in one QB, or the players can continue to be the same. Neither QB can have confidence, so the QB play might go down next week.
It might. Between Flowers and Cornelius, who do you think, based on the stats, like, again, Cornelius went 16 for 31. Flowers only went 4 for 6, but that was really the only opportunities he had. Do you feel like they need to stick with one of them? Like, I know you just said that you don't feel like the back-to-back or like them switching out the quarterbacks was a good thing. Who between Cornelius and Flowers do you feel like would be the best option there?
Well, it seems to me that they trust Cornelius more.
Okay.
So that's what y'all think, and stick with it.
Okay.
But they gotta make a decision, or they just gonna continue to lose games. You're gonna get even more bad plays because the receivers gotta be on the same page as the quarterback.
Right.
And I don't see that happening with them switching quarterbacks like that. Like
facts. Even though again, Tolliver, 8 receptions, 104 yards. They was dropping bombs to that boy. He stepped up as so far the most standout receiver on Tampa Bay.
I hear that. I mean, he showed that.
He did.
Now to Houston, best all-around team in the XFL. I've been saying that since week 1. Been saying that. The only test they're really going to have is once they play DC, even though DC did so bad yesterday. I think maybe they just woke up on the wrong side of the bed or something, man. Like, we're going to get on that later. But, yeah, Houston's the best. And they pound the ball like they supposed to. You got to run down that clock. What won the game for them was the defense. That's how you win games, defense and running the ball. You have to pound and keep your offense on the field.
Sorry about that.
So that's my time.
Had slight technical difficulties.
But that's
I
my
had to
time.
correct in the background. Sorry about that.
Cameraman, announcer.
Again, I wear multiple hats. I wear multiple hats around here. So, let's see. First off, let me just start with Tampa, because Houston I have actually quite a bit to say. I have quite a bit to say about both, but let me just kind of start with Tampa. Tampa Bay, I feel like Flowers should be their starting QB. I know Cornelius had more play time, but again, I feel like Flowers should get his opportunity. I feel like you should put Flowers in there more. I know he had about a quarter and a half, but I feel like Flowers should get more. I feel like Flowers should be their starting QB. I just feel like, again, 4 for 6 with his passing, with the limited opportunities y'all gave him to pass the ball, he did well, and then he also rushed for a touchdown.
Not enough sample size, man.
Again, it's a small sample size, but again, it's something in Flowers that I see. Again, I'm always gonna root for the black QB. I'm always root for the best QB, but again, I like black QBs obviously because
I have a problem with people doing that.
There's not enough black QBs in playing football. Like I feel like the black QB is slept on still.
The better QB should play.
Always. Again, I'm not saying I'm going to root for the black QB. I'm going to root for the black QB.
I mean, I get it.
Now Houston. The best QB wide receiver combo in the best in the league. I almost said the best QB receiver combo in the league. By the way, shout out Dallas again with Bob Stoops. That was something else I wanted to kind of bring up. Bob Stoops from Oklahoma has really gotten Dallas together, like has corrected that shit. So I wanted to put that out there because y'all might have an XFL type of situation of the QB coach combo with Landry Jones and Bob Stoops. Don't sleep on that. But yeah, Cam Phillips and PJ Walker are dominating. When I say like they are dominating, they have made everyone else around them look like children. They've made everybody else around them look like kids, and yeah, that's what like Houston's defense. This game, I don't feel like the 27 points that was put up talks about how good Houston's defense actually is. Like for a few weeks now, Houston's defense has been, I feel like, putting in good work.
They just slipped up a little bit.
I feel like this is just one game. But what kind of shocked is that it was Tampa that made them show some chinks in the armor. You get what I'm saying? It was Tampa that did that.
Good game planning, man.
It was excellent fucking game planning. And for a little while, Tampa was leading. For a little while, Tampa was leading.
Almost won that game.
They almost won that damn game. That's the thing. We can't sleep on Tampa. Even though they're 0-3, we can't sleep on Tampa. Tampa still got 5 games.
I'm still napping.
Or like Tampa still got a few games left that they can try to come back and get into the playoffs. But Houston overall balanced team, excellent QB, excellent wide receiver, excellent coaching. Just a phenomenal team. Like Houston is a phenomenal team. Yeah. Now we come to the game. Well, actually not the game that I least want to talk about. That's the next game. But a game that I actually... New York versus St. Louis. 29-9. So let's just say this here, right? I'm listening again. I have very few stats for this particular one for New York because they didn't do shit.
Nothing.
But their running back Victor had 10 rushes for 50 yards. McGloin threw another fucking interception. And then Luis Perez, I believe his name is, went 4 for 5, 39 yards, 1 TD. St. Louis,
ball.
Their combined running attack of Matt Jones and Michael, again, Matt Jones, we've mentioned him since week 1. 15 rushing yards for Matt Jones. 15 rushes, 95 yards, 1 touchdown. Michael, 13 rushes, 44 yards, 1 touchdown. Jordan Teamu, the quarterback, 12 for 18, 119 yards. And then they had a couple of receivers, Russell and Pearsonell. They didn't score a touchdown, but they what's what I'm looking for? These two receivers, I heard their name a lot throughout the game. Like catching receptions and doing extra shit on the field, doing the intangibles that made them kind of stand out to me. I want to start this one. I have to. I have to start this one really quick because I'm gonna have to start the next one too. Because of what the next game.
I wanted you to anyway. Go ahead.
Get Matt McGloin the fuck off the field. Do not put Matt McGloin back on that field. Keep him the fuck off the field. He's supposed to be one of the better QBs, one of the best QBs in the XFL because he was with the NFL, because he had starting opportunities with Tampa Bay in the NFL. Matt McGloin came into this motherfucking league thinking that he was just God's gift to the XFL. And that was not the fucking case at all. Matt McGloin, since week 1, week 1, I'm not going to say that. Week 1, he did pretty decent. He did decent. He didn't do great. He did decent. Enough to get the W.
Yeah.
Exactly what I was about to say. But the past couple of weeks, like last week, week 2, I'm still trying to figure out why the fuck at halftime would you tell news reporters you felt that the organization should completely strip the offense and start over.
Maybe that's why the game this week was that bad. That team probably didn't quit on him already.
Like, and that's why I feel like y'all should start Luis Perez. Start Luis Perez. Like, again, 4 for 5, 34 yards, 1 TD, small sample size, but at least he was able to, at the red zone, get y'all points on the fucking board. He was the only person on that team to get y'all points yesterday. Start Luis Perez. Fuck Matt LeBlanc. The defense needs to pick up. The defense was trash. Just overall, New York was a bad fucking game. And we're gonna do power rankings too. That's gonna be a different segment. We're gonna do power rankings in the next segment. But yeah, bro, just Matt LeBlanc. I got some shit for you in my XFL best player and worst player. You might be getting my worst player, Matt LeBlanc. You might just be getting. I gotta go through some more though. Jordan Tatum, again, one of the 3 best QBs in the XFL right now, besides PJ Walker.
MVP.
I believe Cardell Jones is still an excellent QB, but we'll get into more. We'll get into that more when the time comes. But this again, as a person who loves rushing, this rushing attack was ridiculous. Like, each one had 2 different touchdowns. The defense was scoring. It was just an overall excellent game. Like, St. Louis balled.
They did.
St. Louis balled yesterday. They deserved that 2-1.
And then you gotta think, when was the last time they played in a stadium in St. Louis? 2 years ago?
Yeah, before the Rams left. Yeah.
The city needed it.
The city definitely needed it. Your take, sir.
Well, I'm disappointed in New York, man. I was thinking that the NFL seasons past, I don't know how many seasons.
We're looking at you,
so
man.
bad.
We're looking at you.
Been so bad. I figured after the first week, I thought New York would be one of the better teams.
They
let me down. They definitely needed to make a QB
I had
change.
such high hopes for New York.
I did too. They need to change QBs. I think, like I said earlier, I think the team quit on him. You got to watch what you say in press conferences and interviews. You have to. You are the number 1 player on the squad. You are the quarterback. You are the leader.
You not only spoke at halftime, but you spoke after the game too. Okay.
But I'm sorry, my phone is.
His phone is going off. His phone is going off. So as a matter of fact, what we're gonna do is, because the next game is so fucking personal to me.
I wasn't done though.
Go ahead,
finish up. Make it real quick. They have a. I'm trying to think. They have a 2-headed monster in those running backs.
Jones and Michael, y'all was out there killing shit.
You know what they remind me of? If I can get the names right, if they remind me of is New York Giants 2000.
Ooh, you talking about Barber?
7?
Ooh.
Barber.
You talking about
Barber.
No, you talking about Bradshaw. You talking about
Bradshaw.
Yeah. I know.
And Jacobs.
Yep.
That's what they remind me
Yeah,
of.
the team that fucking knocked the Patriots, that beat the Patriots' ass.
That was my favorite NFL team of all time because of them and Strahan.
Oh, Strahan was
my favorite
dog.
team of all time.
Strahan's a completely different conversation by himself. We can talk about Strahan for hours.
But so that 2-headed monster did their thing. All I can say from this though is they played New York, a bad team. They played extremely bad this week. So I just want to see what they do next week with who they play and how they play in their game scheme. But good job, 2-headed monsters. That's all I can say. I love the running game. And when you can pound it and still put points on the board and waste that clock down and play good enough defense to get the W, you on my good side.
And speaking of running game, the next game that we're going to discuss is going to be DC versus LA. Like I said, that's going to be a segment by itself. And also, we're going to give you, in that next segment, our power rankings for the week, our XFL worst and best. But this is Talking Sports with Wei And Croney. Croney's on his phone. We'll be right back with you. So the first thing we gave y'all, let me correct this camera while I'm talking.
I might be coughing out there.
The first thing we gave y'all was the first part of XFL Week 3. We wanted to curve this because The final game that we have to talk about is DC versus Los Angeles.
You want to hit this before you?
Yes, sir. If I
I know it's stressful, bro. I know.
What the fuck did you do, DC? What the fuck did you do to me?
That was funny.
What did you do to me, DC? Like, I was watching the game this morning. I watched it last night before I went to sleep. I didn't go to sleep till like fucking 3 a.m. because I was up watching sports highlights and shit like that, preparing for today's show. Matter of fact, as I did with the other ones, we're just going to start from stats before I give y'all my personal take. DC, Jones, 13 for 26, 4 interceptions. Brissett, 8 rushes, 75 yards, 1 TD. And that's all.
That's not bad.
That still.
That wasn't bad.
That wasn't bad. LA. The combined attack of Carter and Rose. Carter, 11 rushes, 34 yards, 2 TDs, 3 receptions, 41 yards, 1 TD. Carter balled. Rose, 5 rushes, 6 yards, 1 touchdown. Josh Johnson, 18 for 25, 278 yards, 3 touchdowns with an 148 QBR rating. McBride, one of his receivers, 5 receptions for 109 yards, 2 TDs.
Get on that defense. That secondary.
I told y'all I was going to start off this segment too, based off of who got their ass busted. My team got destroyed by 30 points. We got a 30 ball put up on us. Just some of my takes. Worst game I've seen Cardale Jones play. I've watched him at Ohio State. I've watched him in the NFL. This was by far the worst fucking game I've seen this man play. A 50% passing percentage for 103 yards and 4 TDs. I feel like DC, you all need to lean more on your running game because Brissett showed you that he got the power. He can actually, he's the only person to fucking score. He was the only person to fucking score. And that was at the end of the game after y'all was already blown out by 39 points. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm watching this okay, DC gonna come back, because y'all, DC's been able to dog walk everybody else up to this point. Again, it's only been 3 weeks, never mind you, but
yeah,
it's just, I had extremely high hopes going into this game. The same thing he had for the Houston Roughnecks. Only difference is his team lived up to expectations.
MVP.
Since we're giving round of applauses on Talking Sports, can we give a round of applause for Los Angeles?
Well deserved and needed game.
Round of applause for Los Angeles. As you all know, in week 1, I told you all that I was going back and forth between Los Angeles and DC. I decided to stick with DC because I felt like DC was overall a better team. I still feel like overall DC is a better team. This just was not the game. This just was not the game at all.
Exposed.
We got exposed horribly. Josh Johnson, I talked a lot of shit about you in week 2. I felt that since that was your first game, I was going to give you a little bit more time before I gave you flamethrower content, before I let the venom spew. And you didn't disappoint, my nigga. You did not disappoint me. Once again, shout out to the black fucking quarterbacks. Because Josh Johnson, 34 years old.
They taking over, period. NFL, XFL, they taking over.
In the NFL, again, the 3 most important awards, Rookie of the Year, the Super Bowl MVP, and the NFL MVP are all black QBs. So once again, clap a round of applause for the black QBs. But yeah, Josh Johnson, 3 TDs. But the standout of the game was Carter. Once again, 11 rushes, 34 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 receptions, 41 yards with a touchdown. Carter pretty much single-handedly bust our ass.
In the red zone.
In the red zone. Like, he pretty much bust our ass single-handedly. Like, Carter himself, just based off of the touchdowns and no extra points, Carter himself put up 18 points. He put up 18 points by him damn self. And then Rose came in with another TD. So that's 18. That makes 24 right there. McBride had 2 TDs. You get what I'm saying here? Like, overall, that offense looked so much fucking better. And here's the craziest part about it all. One of the things that, like, I saw that I had to double check. Coming into this fucking game, Los Angeles had the worst passing offense in the first 3 weeks. The worst passing offense. I mean, the worst passing defense, excuse me. The worst passing defense. These motherfuckers intercepted Cardale Jones 4 times. How do you come into the game with the worst passing defense and you get 4 interceptions? With your fucking backups. These wasn't even your starters. These were your backups. I'm just disappointed. I'm just disappointed, sir. And that's again 7 minutes of me going the fuck off.
It's my go.
It's your go, sir.
Okay. First of all, St. Louis defense didn't step up. It was given to them. Every throw was just bad throws.
You said St. Louis?
St. Louis.
Talking about last week?
Defense this week, yesterday.
No, that's LA. It was LA versus DC.
What? Oh shit, I'm tripping. Well, LA, my bad. They defense didn't step up. It was just like was terrible. All 3 phases of the game was terrible. I really don't have much to say about them. You all right?
Mm-hmm.
You mad about your team?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they were terrible. The worst player of the week was the quarterback.
You see, I'm hiding my face.
Yeah, because it's the truth though. You
so,
gotta own this.
Because how much should I talk?
You gotta own this. I had to own the dunk contest, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
I had to own that.
Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. For those listeners on that platform, you can't see what I just did. For those of y'all on YouTube, you can see that I literally just. I had to duck my face down the shit.
Keep it up.
I had to duck my face down the shame because I've been talking so much
shit
about Cardale Jones. Like, this was my nigga. Like, you're from Ohio State.
He
like,
gave them the game. He gave them that.
Those passes were so bad, and like rewatching them with him, like again, me having I guess a cloud of smoke over my eyes. I'm like, this is one of my this is my nigga. Like, okay, cool. I didn't think that the passes were as bad, but after rewatching them with him and kind of looking at his form and his technique, it was horrible. Horrible.
The offensive line been bad since week 1. I've been saying it. They got to him. I don't know how many times they got exposed.
We got exposed. He just been able to be mobile for the first couple of weeks, and this week we got exposed. We got exposed like a motherfucker.
He was pushing the issue all game. They just got to step it up. They still may be the top 3 or 4 team, I feel. But they definitely got exposed.
Not after these power rankings. But that's our takes on the last game, DC versus LA. So the next thing, because you know I'm the stat master general. We got power rankings for y'all. But before we get to the power rankings, matter of fact, no. Because the XFL Player of the Week, I feel like is our most cherished award. Like it was the first one we did. It's our most cherished award, so we got to give that one to y'all last. We're gonna do the power rankings first. So we gonna have some disagreement, and we'll kind of discuss that when it comes. But in first place, we'll start from 8 to 1. So in last place is the New York Guardians. Horrible. In 7th place is Tampa Bay. New York, by the way, is 1 and 2. Tampa Bay is 0 and 3. In 6th,
they're a better team.
Yes. I feel like Tampa Bay showed they were a better team. We can discuss the power rankings in a second. Number 6, I have DC. Number 5, Seattle at 1 and 2. DC was 2 and 1. Los Angeles at number 4 at 1 and 2. Dallas at number 3 at 2 and 1. St. Louis at number 2 at 2 and 1. And then coming in at number one Rednecks fan over here, Houston. Houston comes in at number 1. So when we were putting the power rankings together, he had some disagreements as far as what he felt some teams may have been placed. So this is your time.
DC.
You felt like
they 2-1. They had a bad game. Bad game. You put them all the way down to 6.
I'm harsh. I'm a harsh critic when it comes to me. Like,
and it's your squad.
I know. I told you I'm a very harsh critic though. Like when it comes, like I expect excellence. I expect excellence at all point on that football field. I said football field, the fucking football field. Goddamn, you got me stumbling over words and shit.
You had bad quarterback play. That's really what it comes down to. But I say he was great at escaping from the rushes, and that's what saved him the first 2 games.
So if he could switch, DC would be his 5 and Seattle would be his 6. Again, I feel like we both would agree that LA could be above DC because of LA actually beating DC. That's my argument for LA at 4. LA whooped our ass.
I gotta give you that.
Read that again. It was 9-39. They put 30 points on us. I don't.
Yeah, but that was their first win, though, man.
Still, it was a powerful ass win against at the time the second best team in the league.
They only been able to win 1. They got 2. I can't do it.
You can't do it?
Nah, I can't agree with that.
So you actually put DC at 4?
I put DC. What did I say last? 4.
You put DC at 4.
Yes.
You put LA at 5, and then put Seattle at 6. Sound pretty fair?
That sounds fair.
Sounds fair. Now, one of these days we're gonna have like actual trophies that we can give to people for like the player of the week. But the Talking Sports, we're gonna give y'all our player of the week, and then we're gonna give y'all our worst player of the week. We're gonna give you a best and a worst. You wanna start, or do you want me to start?
Go ahead.
So my best is going to be Martez Carter from Los Angeles. Again, that's personal, but it was just because of the level of production. It was the level of production. He had 3 TDs, receiving yards, rushing yards, multiple rushes, multiple catches. He basically pulled an XFL version of Christian McCaffrey.
Okay, I see you.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what
he
you're
pulled
saying.
an XFL version of Christian McCaffrey against DC. My worst player of the week is Matt McGloin. I told you I was gonna get on your ass, and it's your time, my nigga. So, Matt McGloin, don't you ever in your motherfucking football career. I played football at a very low level. So again, my football knowledge compared to yours, what I can say may not necessarily be on par, but what I can say as far as leadership and being a leader, you don't call out your team at halftime. You don't call out your team at the end of the game. I've seen so many great quarterbacks. I've seen over the years Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. Names go on. When it comes to the game, they put it on them. I'm the QB. I'm the leader of the game. I'm the one that has to step up. I'm the one that got to make sure that we get where we got to go, whether it's on offense or even hell, talking to the defensive captain and making sure that they got their shit together. I run this motherfucking team. And you, sir, you didn't do it. You didn't do it. I would, like he said, I wouldn't be surprised if that whole locker room has turned on you at this point. So you, sir, who's your best and your worst?
Of the week?
Yep.
It'll have to be. You made a good case though just now.
Don't I always though?
Yeah, you made a really good case. Like you made me almost change my decision.
But
because of him calling out his team, but he didn't do that this week.
He didn't. But that's because he learned from last week. I'm still not off that.
I'm going to go with the QB from DC. He let me down.
He did
those
it.
legs.
He actually fucking did it.
That day, I gotta give it to him. I'm trying to think. I think I'm gonna stick with the 2-headed monsters.
So he actually has a best player of the week, and that's the two running backs from Seattle. Or was it St. Louis?
I think it was the same. I want to say St.
Hold on,
Louis.
let's double check. Let's double check the stats. Got to go back into the library. So was not Dallas. Was not that. It was definitely St. Louis.
Right.
Yep, Matt Jones and C. Michael. Again, just he has a good case. between the two, 28 rushes, over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. What can you say about that? What can you say? What can you say? So we gave y'all our take on DC versus LA. We gave y'all our power rankings for the week, and we also gave you all our best and our worst for the XFL player of this week. Now we're about to get off the XFL. Something he's been wanting to talk about: Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, number 2. This is going to be coming up after the ad break from our sponsor, the Yankee Wrap. So sit back with Talking Sports with Wei
And Croney.
and we'll be right back with you. How's everybody doing? It's your boy Wei, host of the Wei's World Podcast.
And your girl Shani the Shooter, co-host of the Wei's World Podcast.
You can catch the Wei's World Podcast every Monday through Wednesday by at least 3 p.m. on one of those days on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere that you get your local podcasts, and now
YouTube. Yeah.
we want to say thank you all for listening to the Wei's World Podcast, and stay tuned for much more, because officially every episode from season 2 of the Wei's World Podcast and every episode of season 2 of the Wei's World Drunkcast will now be on YouTube. So once again, thank you all so much for listening, and stay tuned. Coming off that ad break, the very next thing that we're going to talk about is the fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. It was their second fight. If you all do not know, from the first fight, that one ended in a split decision draw, which means both of them got a draw on their record. Neither one of them has been defeated.
Which was bullshit.
Up until this fight. Now, that's one thing I wish I fucking had. I forgot which round, but basically Tyson Fury won with a TKO. He won by TKO after.
I want to say it was like it might have been the 11th round.
They went late.
Because I think it was later in rounds. I don't think it was early.
Yeah, I know it wasn't early. I thought it may have been around that's the second time I heard it. So it was in the later rounds. We'll say that. It was in the later rounds. Tyson Fury defeated Deontay Wilder. He already has had some takes online. If y'all watch this and you see this, you know that he's been having banter with some of y'all. But I'm going to let him start before I kind of give my takes. I'm going to give more of a boxing analysis more than
Well, what surprises me, what I'm going to keep saying, that everybody thought that Wilder was going to win this fight. He didn't win the first fight. Well, they both kind of cheated in the first fight. I mean, Wilder lost in rounds, and Fury got a leg count. So I think that's probably why it was a draw.
They just said, fuck it, and let's just go back and do it again?
Pretty much.
So how did you think, what did you think of the fight? Like, what was your overall view of the fight? Or like overall thoughts about the fight?
Wilder can fight, but he can't box.
Ooh, me Max Kellerman take there. Okay.
I mean, it's the truth though.
Okay, continue.
I mean,
continue.
if you watched the fight.
I definitely watched the fight. Watched it a couple of times.
I mean, the first fight, it was clear as day who was the better fighter. The second fight, he was tight. He shouldn't have gained that weight, man. He gained weight. Wilder gained weight, and Fury kept putting that body on him, and it was over. He was too tired, and that one shot, even if it was in the back of the head, it was over. It was over in the middle third round. Like, it was done. I believe that Fury was going to win the fight regardless. Like I said, he's a better fighter. He's more skilled. And Wilder fans are just mad because he's black and he lost.
Okay.
That's the big thing. But that's my take on that.
Okay. Again, I was told I was gonna give y'all more of like a boxing analysis. My overall thoughts of the fight though, it was a good fucking fight. I'm not gonna lie,
It was not a good fight.
I thought, to me personally, I thought it was a good fight, especially early on it was a good fight.
It was not a good fight.
As the rounds went on later,
He was doing this the whole time.
Tyson.
Wilder was doing this the whole time.
My take, sir. My take. Listen, I felt like it was a good fight early on. Later on, as it went on, like he said, Tyson Fury, the weight that he put on was better. The weight that he put on was used to a better advantage than what Deontay Wilder done. The weight that Deontay Wilder had put on. Something I saw and I paid attention to was like in boxing, I feel like if you come into the fight like sweating a little bit, you've been prepping. You actually been kind of putting in work. If you look at Deontay Wilder, he came in cold. He came in completely cold. If you look at Tyson Fury came in that thing sweating.
They showed what they were doing before the fight. Did you see what they were doing before the fight?
What were they doing before the fight, sir?
Fury was dancing in his boxers.
What was Wilder doing?
And Wilder, if I can remember, he wasn't boxing or nothing like that though. They both weren't doing shit.
Shit, even Fury though. Like
Fury was confident he was gonna win this fight.
Fury came in this shit ready. Fury was loose. Wilder wasn't. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying here. It was a different level of preparation coming into this. Fury, again, for those boxing fans out there, Fury, remember he got a whole different trainer before the fight. And the shit that him and his trainer worked on, like when he told him, put your body on him, stay close to him, stay up inside of him. Because what he does is he throw that left jab and then immediately try to hook your ass with that right. It comes every single fucking time. So if you stay in close to him, he's not gonna have enough power ever to truly come around that right.
But it wasn't even just power. He couldn't hit him.
Again, listen to what I'm about to say. He can't get you with that right. So what you'll be able to do is duck under that motherfucker and continue to clobber. And if you check out what fucking Fury was doing, Fury kept trying to go for that overhand behind his fucking head to knock his ass on the ground. Now, a couple of those knockdowns, if they counted them towards Wilder, I haven't checked the true stand-by-stand scores, but if they did contribute them to Wilder, shouldn't have been because the first one, because again, he was slipping a lot. He was definitely slipping a lot, and that wasn't due to, like, a couple of those times he didn't even get hit. He just literally slipped. Yeah. Like,
he was already wobbly.
By that point, he was, because Fury beat his ass. Let's just, again, I feel like it was a good fight, but Fury beat his ass. I do. I'm not saying it was a good back and forth. I'm saying it was a good ass whooping. Like, that's what I mean by a good fight. It was a good ass whooping. Like, I never said it was a good back and forth early on in the beginning few rounds. Yeah, they had their little tussles, but as the rounds went on, Fury showed his conditioning. Like, I'm here for it. I'm here to beat your ass. Then after I whoop your ass, I'm going after Anthony Joshua.
Is it Joshua?
No, it's Anthony Joshua, because Anthony Joshua lost his championships to Ruiz, to the Mexican fighter. But then in their very next matchup, Anthony Joshua ended up getting his championships back. So I don't know if this is the first time, so let me not say that. But we right now, all the four major governing bodies of boxing are all British champions. Tyson Fury is the Ring Magazine and I believe WBA champion, and Anthony Joshua is the IBF and WBO. Again, don't quote me, I might be wrong off of that one, but I know both of them basically got 2 belts apiece. And they're talking about that, again, British Anthony Joshua versus British Tyson Fury is going to be for the unification of all the heavyweight championships. Basically,
so you think that's going to happen before the third fight?
Fuck yeah. They are like, what's the thing's name is Eddie Hearns, I believe his name is. He's a British man. He was literally on ESPN and every type of boxing network the very next day. Like, look, we already talked about it. If he won, this was gonna be the very next thing. Like, it's pretty much dead set at this point. So, and I was watching something last night talking about the lineal heritage of the heavyweight championship. Basically, somebody that they consider like not necessarily like the real world champion. Like, you're the real world champion and you got the titles. Right now, Tyson Fury is technically what they consider the lineal champion, which basically means you're the best of the best in your weight class. So if Tyson Fury is the best and Anthony Joshua got the other 2 titles, there's only really one thing to do. It's 2-2. Let's see who's the best. Go at it, and then after that, have one more. And if the person who won the first one won that second one, we call it at that. And we got ourselves the best heavyweight boxer of this time right now.
So then, who you think Wilder gonna fight?
Wilder, I feel like Wilder's gonna take some time off. But as far as who's his next fight is, again, I'm not that deep into boxing to be like, oh, I've been watching this young up and comer, I've been watching so and so, and they should fight. I don't fucking know.
But you know, he's able to automatically get a rematch, right?
He is,
So
but
I think he's gonna take that.
You think he's gonna take the rematch? You think they're gonna do that before? All right.
Because if he take it, I'm pretty sure that's gonna have to be the first fight for Fury, right? If he automatically wants a rematch, if he automatically, they give it to him.
Again, the behind the scenes, the politics, and all the contract workings of boxing is so fucking complicated. It's so fucking complicated. I'm not even gonna get into it because I don't have a single fucking idea. But
it was a good ass whooping. That was funny.
Those are my final thoughts. It was a good ass whooping. I would have liked to see Deontay Wilder win. Because again, like,
why though?
I would have liked to see Deontay Wilder win. I think it's more of like a black thing. Like I think that's literally all the fuck it really was. I've seen Tyson Fury. I watched WWE as well, so I've seen Tyson Fury literally do like WWE. I've seen Tyson Fury before I've ever seen him. Matter of fact, no, I saw him in Deontay Tyson 1. Then he came to WWE. You had Deontay Tyson 2. Tyson, like Fury.
You say his first name?
Yeah. And the thing is, I've been doing a lot of like Tyson just the one that kind of catches me, like, because I think of Iron Mike. But long story short, it was a good ass whooping. It was a good ass whooping. But that's our coverage of Wilder, Fury 2. If any more like top boxing matchups come, then we might discuss those again in the future. But this was one we could not cover, especially having a sports show.
I was looking forward to that one.
But we'll be right back here on the way with Talking Sports with Wei And Croney. We got a couple of questions that we're going to ask that we told y'all in the beginning. Question number 1, should Jayson Tatum be considered in the MVP conversation? And number 2, should Zion Williamson win Rookie of the Year? Or should he be considered for Rookie of the Year? We'll be right back here with you on Talking Sports with Wei
And Croney.
All right, so we're back here on Talking Sports with Wei
And Croney.
After talking about Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. So the next thing we have before we close this thing out is a couple of questions I've been seeing people talk about. I've been seeing people, ask and debate, and I thought it would be some good things for us to debate. The first one is, should Jayson Tatum be considered to be in the MVP conversation for this year? I'll let you start.
No. There's no reason for him to be considered as MVP. He's a good part of a good working system and players and team. Yeah, but he's only averaging 22 points a game. There's so many other players that's averaging 22 points a game. And he's not the main reason why his team is winning and in, third place?
Who you giving it to? Kimba?
What you mean, the MVP of that team or something?
Yeah, are you saying it's Kimba? Because it's definitely Jayson Tatum.
I'm not gonna say that.
It's not Kimba.
I'm not gonna say it's Kimba.
Who?
You sit here talking about MVP of the NBA.
I'm talking about the Celtics. Who is the best player on the Celtics? Jayson Tatum.
Yes.
So, and he has his team.
Yeah.
He has his team at third in the East right now. Okay. Yes.
But he's not that much of a better player than everybody else on his squad, though. No.
I think he is. I think this year, Jayson Tatum, and I feel like next year I'll be solidified in what I'm saying. So around the 1-year anniversary of Talking Sports with Wei And Croney, I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to put this clip in here. But I'm saying, I feel like around this time next year, around next season, he's going to elevate even further. But I feel like this year, he's put his team, as the leader of his team, he's put his team in a good position. He's shooting a good percentage from the field. He's shooting a good percentage from 3. Again, he's rebounding very well. Again, his scoring is just 22.9 points per game. It's his scoring, damn near basically 23.
Well, how many assists he averaging? Look, maybe
for about 3 assists per game. But again, that's not his job. His job as a small forward is to rebound.
Okay,
well, what
Kimber got to be averaging at least 20 points a game, 22 something. I'm just saying, he's not. He's not doing what Giannis is doing. He's not doing
I'm
what
not.
James is doing.
But did I?
Come on,
did I say that he should win MVP?
He shouldn't be in the
No,
conversation.
I feel like he should be in the conversation though. I feel like there is an argument. Again, I feel like I'm making that argument for him that he should be at least in the conversation
All
for
right, let me
MVP.
say this.
Go
Could
ahead.
the Celtics be 5 games worse without him?
Yes. He's been hitting.
Just 5 games.
Yes.
From where they are right now,
Yes.
without Tatum, the whole year, they'll
Yes.
still be just 5 games worse.
Yes, because I believe this year he has 3 game winners.
Are you understanding what I'm saying?
I'm hearing exactly what you're saying.
I don't think you are.
I believe this year.
All right, listen.
Hold on, wait, no, stop.
I don't
Hold on,
think
give
you
me this.
understand what
He
I'm
said
saying.
this year, right? He said this year.
Without
Tatum,
would the
would
team
it
still be
5
would be
games?
5 games worse than the season?
I believe there was a league game check about Jayson Tatum that hit fucking 3 game-winning shots already this year. So I'm already up 3 games without Jayson Tatum, right? And again, the game the game against the Lakers, they lost that game. But again, there was quite a few
Where
games.
were 5 games put? Where were 5 games less than where they are now? Put the Celtics. What seeding would that be?
Around 6 or 7.
So they'll still be in the playoff hunt in the second half of the season, right?
But they wouldn't have home field
Now
advantage.
tell me, if LeBron wasn't on the Lakers, or if Harden wasn't on the Rockets, would they only be 5 games worse than where they are right now? Or would they be even further down?
They would be significantly worse without those 2 people.
So why we be in the MVP conversation?
Because, like for instance, right, with the Raptors, without Pascal Siakam, I feel like the Raptors would still be a lower seeded fucking
What,
playoff
8th
team.
seed?
Exactly. I feel like with just Kyle Lowry, they would still be at least the 8th
You
seed.
didn't just put the
But
Celtics to the 8th seed.
I didn't, right? I didn't. I said around
But
6 or
still.
7. So again,
6 and 7. Where
So-
they are right now? Third.
right? But that's
They third right now.
that's with Toronto with Pascal Siakam. Without Pascal Siakam, Toronto goes from 2nd to 8th. Without Jayson Tatum, the Celtics go from 3rd to 6th. I'm taking Jayson Tatum.
I take the Jayson Tatum over Siakam too.
And so I'm not saying that he's better than Giannis, who would be the only other person above him.
I didn't even say Giannis though.
I'm not saying better than Giannis, because literally
he gone further than
he's out the race. We're not saying that. And then in the West, you got LeBron, you got James Harden, you got Luka, and then that's 4. And they normally have a top 5. He's not better than Luka. They normally have a top 5, right? Who's the top 5 in the MVP race? I gave you 3 from the West. He's in the, and then 2 from the East. Him and motherfucking Giannis. Him, Giannis, Luka, James, and LeBron. God damn it! I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I know what the fuck I'm
I don't
talking
know how to
about.
argue with that or not. I see what you did there. I don't know. Like I gotta really think, because
That's what I'm saying. I can make an argument for anything.
It'll be him or but you can't say that because Ben Simmons too though.
I don't believe this year Ben
averaging
Simmons.
the same amount
I don't believe this year Ben Simmons is the MVP conversation though. I feel like Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid got to get their shit together before either one of them is in the MVP conversation. They got too much shit going on there, Philly.
The whole thing, but yeah. I see what you're saying though with that when it comes to the top 5 and who. I see what you're saying. But I say it'll be between him and Siakam.
Okay.
Instead of just giving him that 5th spot, I just say
it's
they
between-
fighting for it.
Okay, I'll give you that. So the next question we have after that, you see, right? That's why I chose.
You almost got me.
That's why I
was
chose
like,
these
oh.
questions for a fucking reason. The next thing that we're gonna talk about is, should Zion Williamson be considered in the Rookie of the Year conversation? Hold on.
Oh, considered.
Yes.
Not winning it.
Matter of fact, fuck it. That's a better one. Should Zion Williamson win Rookie of the Year? I got the stats. So, in 12 games, mind you, let's put that out there first. 12 games, he has averaged 22.8 points a game, 2.3 assists, 41.7 3-point percentage. That's his percentage, 41.7. I fumbled the fuck out of that.
How many threes have you shot?
I did
Maybe
not.
4.
I didn't find that.
Maybe
Okay.
4.
58.6% from the field and 7.2 rebounds.
How
Compared to
many?
7.2. Compared to Ja Morant, 50 games,
50.
17.6 points per game, 6.9 assists per game, shooting 35.5% from the three, 49% from field goal range, 3.4 rebounds, and a steal. And the Grizzlies are the 8th seed. A rookie is leading the Grizzlies to the 8th seed. So,
Yes.
since I made such a compelling argument last time, I would like to start with this.
Almost.
I feel like he should be considered.
No, we don't do consider it.
Oh,
You said
okay.
winning.
I feel like
Winning it.
Okay, I feel like Zion Williamson should win the Rookie of the Year. Okay, I feel like he should win the Rookie of the Year. Here's why: he has his team only 3 games back from the 8th seed. That's what it.
3 now?
Only 3 games back
didn't
from
check it last time.
the 8th seed at this point. They're a half game back from Dame Time and the Blazers. They're a half game back from Dame Time and the Blazers. Also, since Zion Williams has come back, I think they've won out of their last 10 games. They've gone 8-2. He's played 12 games. They went 8-2. As a matter of fact, since he's been back, they've gone 10-2. Since Zion Williamson has hit the court. Since he's hit the court, Zion Williamson has single-handedly changed the way that they fucking play.
Well, they gotta change. the way
They,
they play.
but his dominance, his ability to rebound, his aggressiveness, his motor, his strength, he's shown everything. Even in the rookie game, he was balling in the fucking rookie game.
Yeah, he's hoping.
Like Zion Williamson is out here hooping, and something courtesy of ESPN, Stephen A. First Take, that I don't know if it was Stephen A. but I associate Stephen A. with First Take. Something that I heard on there, right? Somebody made a comparison that, like, in the next couple of years, another gruesome duo is going to end up being Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram. And after going back and watching games and watching
It could be.
those two
Yeah,
together,
yeah.
they've been able to put together some shit. Like, they've been able to put together, and this was Brandon Ingram's first All-Star appearance too, this year. Because remember, that was something else we talked about. Because I thought Devin Booker should have went in instead of Brandon Ingram ass.
So you disagreeing with that, man?
No, Brandon Ingram was in there and Devin Booker made it.
But
So
yeah,
that's my point.
but
My point is, yes, I still feel like Devin Booker. As a matter of fact, I am. I'm gonna go on record and say that I am gonna change that. I am gonna change that because from what I'm seeing, I told you I needed a bigger sample size for Brandon Ingram. And after watching Zion Williamson and watching all 12 of his games, which I have to do to give you all this excellent content, yeah, that combo between Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram is gonna be fucking dangerous. So yeah,
I agree.
so I feel like if Zion can get his team into the playoffs, and can get his team past the Grizzlies and actually make it to that 8th seed, or if they can continue this type of winning ways and maybe even hit a 7, like if they can basically pass the Grizzlies, yes, Zion Williamson should win Rookie of the Year. Without making the playoffs, no.
Okay, I agree. I definitely agree. I felt different, but if he able to get them to the playoffs and knock Ja out of the playoffs,
Bro,
then yeah, he could.
Bro.
He should win Rookie of the Year.
like he's
Yeah,
since
I can't even argue with you with that.
since
one.
he's
That
hit
one.
the court, he's been the most explosive rookie.
But if he don't,
If he don't,
If
this
he
whole
don't.
this whole conversation is even a wash.
then it's Ja all day.
It's Ja.
If
It's
he
Ja.
can play the most games, if he continue to do what he's doing and make the playoffs,
Yep. It's
Yeah,
Ja.
it's Ja then.
It's definitely Ja. But what's so crazy is, and I think wasn't Ja drafted number 2? Wasn't it literally Zion then Ja?
or was it? I'm sure it was Ja or What's your different play for the Knicks? You sure
For the Knicks? No, matter of fact, it was Zion, Ja, and then it was R.J. Barrett.
Okay.
R.J. Barrett was third.
Okay.
Thank you for bringing up that because that really clicked something.
I could.
So yeah, literally, this is 1 and 2, the best 2 rookies. I think because like when it was Jayson Tatum and Lonzo Ball, I don't think those was the 2. I think it was, I forgot who the fuck else it was that was in there. A lot going on with the Rookie of the Year conversation this year. And these past few years, though, I feel like these rookies have been stepping it up. Like the past 2 Rookie of the Year winners have honestly been stepping it up. But this has been Talking Sports with Wei
And Croney.
We'll be right back with you with this young outro. As you see, I came prepared today.
You got me on that one.
I came prepared today.
You got me on that one.
We'll be right back with you. This, sir, has been I thought this has been a good episode. I feel like this has been fun. We've been debating, have been having good sports conversation. We didn't cover the 3rd week of the XFL. We didn't cover Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. We didn't also, just double checking things here, we didn't debate a couple of topics when it came to the NBA. What do you think of today's episode?
It was cool. I'm getting more comfortable, like I said the last time. It's getting more easier to do it now.
I told you, repetition.
You had some good points today. You got me on the topic. I give you 1.
Okay, we're gonna go 1 and 1. We're gonna go 1 and 1. Next time it's gonna be like a 7-game series. I'm gonna watch right now.
4-game series?
Yeah, like a 5-game. Right now we at 1 and 1. I'll give him. He won the Jayson Tatum. He won the Jayson Tatum one because I couldn't swing him, but I got him with the Zion one. I got him with the Zion one. But like I said, I feel like this has been our best episode. I feel like this has been like a fire episode. And we're starting to find our stride. The more comfortable we get with doing this podcast, the better it'll be. The more heat we'll be able to bring to y'all. But as usual, I am one of your hosts, Wei
And Croney.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts. You can find us on Google Podcasts. You can find us on Spotify. You can also find us on YouTube. All Wei's World. You can find us right there. You can find me on Instagram at how_Wei_how. Also at Wei's World 93. You can find me on Facebook at Wei's World, and you can also find me on Facebook at Wayman. On Twitter, Wei's World 93. I think that's all my tags. And on you, where can they find you, sir?
Just find me on Facebook, Lavelle Croney.
And his Instagram, Lavelle Croney.
Is it what it is?
Yes. And his Instagram is Lavelle Croney as well. We've confirmed. We found the missing Instagram. His Instagram is definitely Lavelle Croney. Same exact thing. But once again, this has been Talking Sports with Wei and Croney. Thank you all so much, and you have yourself a good day or night, depending on when you're watching this.
Peace.